Howdy folks, it's Zach and welcome back to my gaming channel. And man, let me tell you, it has been a bear trying to get this video ready for you guys. So this is the M3 version of the boss fight for the Tomb of Remembrance in Star Ocean Anamnesis. And this is the crossover event with Nier Automata. Now, I have a blast with this event. I cannot recommend this enough, but I will say this. This particular fight is very, very difficult. It's a much bigger step up than the 170 M2 version of this fight. Well, most of the time, guys, with some of these event bosses at the early levels, you can kind of snooze through it if you're a healer. You basically just keep spamming your heals from the back, and you're basically good to go. In this fight, you have to pay attention. This is on par, in my opinion, with, you know, basically being at a raid in an MMO. The main thing you have to do here is watch your feet, and you do have to study the patterns a little bit to know what's coming. I'll confess, guys, I was farming the earlier levels of this and not really paying attention to what the boss's moveset was. Okay, I'm just, that's a confession. I'm making it now. That's the confession. All right, I made it. With this version, you really do got to pay attention. So first up, we got these green waves. This is the one that was causing me the most difficulty as a healer because my white symbology casts that you see Summer Sophia doing, basically the camera shifts behind her and then it becomes really tough to see them. That is probably my biggest note if you're playing a healer, is to watch out for the green waves. And that does look like if you get hit by them that they do apply a freeze, and that freeze is really going to make your life difficult. The second AoE is that purple orbs. In my run of this, they would typically form around the edge, and this is what caused me the most frustration early on. Not in this particular fight, but in a different version, was that my habit was to run to the outside of the edge because I was the host, and the boss would immediately aggro to me. So I would run to the outside edge, pretty much, and just start casting from there. And your heals will hit the whole party, you know, from the outside edge. In earlier fights, that would help me avoid the freeze and just kind of keep healing or DPSing as I needed to. In this fight, that will kill you, because if you run to the outside edge and those purple orbs appear, you are going to be standing in one of them. I can almost guarantee it. And then, what makes it worse is that depending on which way the boss moves, you may also be standing at the starting point of one of the green wave orbs as well. And you may just have them back to back and you not even really know what killed you. In this version of the fight, too, I'd also add that the waves happen much quicker. The boss can choose to do 3 or 4 of those green waves back to back. As DPS, this could make your life a little bit more difficult. You may have to hold on to one of your attack moves, charge it up so that you rush to the boss. If you are attacking the boss from the front, you also have to worry about their frost AoE from the front. They also have a couple, looks like light bolt attacks. I get hit with one later on a little bit. That's actually what ends, you know, pretty much it's the beginning of the end. You're going to see it here in a little bit. Also, if you are an attacker, just be aware that the green orbs start at the boss's front. So when they send out a big wave of green waves, the first one that's going to leave is immediately at the boss's nose, and they kind of work out like an arrow formation from there. It's pretty tight though, so just if you're a DPS, just, you know, be trying to hit that boss from behind, man. That really does look to be like the best place to be hitting it. I think that's one of the reasons why it jumps around so much, is to make that difficult. Also, you probably don't have any control over who's going to end up in your party, but if you are joining somebody else's, I would definitely say bring a light element weapon. I think my 2B was equipped with the Cladmid Souls. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. But that does seem to build up the elemental damage more and help to stun the boss. It also, and you'll see here, the boss will start glowing white, and yeah, if they're getting hit a little too much, and then they start enraging a little. It's like a soft enrage. It's just basically pissing them off and increasing their damage multiplier. So just be aware of that too. You're fighting these two different mechanics at the same time. You want the boss to get stunned so you can do a lot of damage. Typically that works best, it looks like, after a rush, a wave of rushes. But when they're enraged against you, you're going to have some serious problems. Anyway, after this bunch of rushes here, you'll see kind of how fast some of these wave transitions can be. But yeah, man, great fight though. definitely the key here isn't so much about being the hardest, baddest DPS that you could possibly be. It's really about staying alive. As you can see there's the orb and the grids. It's really just trying to keep an eye on the boss, and that can be very tough with your camera angles. So my number 1 survivability tip, watch the floor. My number 2 survivability tip is watch out for your own camera, because that can get you killed faster than almost anything. One of the things that's really nice about A2 and 2B is that they can switch between short range and long range. They have both types of moves in their kits. So I would equip them with, light, damage weapons. And then depending on what you see the boss do, I would either charge in really close, or I would use your ranged abilities and stick at range. If you're playing at a character like Fate, you might have a little bit more trouble in this fight because you're always zipping in to be close range to the boss, and that could put you in the middle of some danger. You don't really have a ranged option there. That's really definitely one of the big strengths I see with the near units. They all have pod ranged attacks. Anyway, guys, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this helps you as you go tackle this boss. If you did enjoy this video, please like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.